Hello my brothers, I asked you and overwhelmingly you wanted to see more Choosing Beggars, so here it is. In today's episode, a nurse fills out a safety report because she missed out on eating cake. Some folk tried to beg for free ballet tickets only to have the tables turned on them. And we have an epic tale of one woman who's given $5,000 from her sister to buy a new car only to waste all of the money and expect a new car from her. Just want to say a quick thanks to everyone who's left a comment. I read every single one and I really appreciate the support. Let's get straight into it. This post was originally called "Brought in Cake for Holiday, a nurse came late and missed out." I work in a hospital and I was pretty well known around our unit for the cakes that I make. Everyone really enjoys them and I get requests often. They take me a bit of time, so I don't usually just give them away for free to people outside my family. I had numerous people asking me to please make one for the unit for our holiday potluck, and I agreed since it is the holidays. I asked around about flavour preferences and food allergies and made one that seemed to meet all the criteria, brought it in and left it with all the other potluck items. People apparently pounced on it and several people took more than one piece. It was gone in under an hour. I was flattered by how quickly it went. Unfortunately, one of the nurses who had pestered me the most to bring in the cake got there too late and it was gone. She came to my office and asked where the cake was, and I said it was eaten already. She got so upset, told me I should have cut a piece for her and saved it because she wanted it more than everybody. I told her that if she wanted it so badly, she should have gone and grabbed a piece herself when we put food out. She stormed off and I didn't really think more about it. 2 days later, I get called by my manager saying a safety report was filed by that nurse because I failed to supervise the disbursement of the cake and allowed people to take multiple pieces of cake before others had a piece. In the section for how could this safety event have been avoided, she wrote that I should have baked multiple cakes, enough to feed at least the number of people working ×2 to allow for seconds. That literally would have been around 50 to 60 pieces of cake. Stayed with the cakes until they were completely dispersed. Made multiple announcements to inform people that the cakes were available. And lastly, pre-cut the cake into acceptable sized servings. She then specified 2.5 inches square and saved pieces for those who most wanted cake. I couldn't believe that she used a hospital safety report for a damn cake. I informed my manager that this would never be a problem again because I will never bake another cake for the unit again. It's such a socially awkward thing to do as well, like other people are going to know you filled out the safety report. When people say, "Oh, why don't you bring a cake this time?" It's like, "Oh, last time somebody filled out a safety report because they didn't get any." Wait, what? Who? Then when people find out that they're not getting any cake this year because you filled out a safety report last year because you didn't get any, you're not going to be liked very well at your work. This one was called "Seats Not Good Enough." My wife and I go to the ballet when we can, usually twice per year, just the two of us. Before one particular performance, my wife's sister and boyfriend were set to join us but backed out at the last moment. They paid for their own tickets and told us, "Just try and sell them near the door. We'll be happy if you can get 50% the cost." At Lincoln Center, the face value printed on the stub of the ticket is always way lower than you actually wind up paying because of markups. So we get there, and just inside we approach a group of people who appear to be waiting to buy tickets for this sold out performance. We gave them proof of the price we paid with the printout and asked for that. One guy laughed. Another one said, "Look, these are crappy seats. The most you'll get is half the face value. You might as well hand them over. The show's gonna start and then no one will buy them." I said, "Well, as long as no one will buy them." And I ripped them up right in front of the guy and threw the pieces at his feet as we walked away. He went on to harangue about how anyone who appreciates the ballet would just give them to others instead of ripping them up. I paid my sis-in-law her price later that week. She asked if I had any trouble getting rid of them. I said no. This story feels like it belongs in r/petty revenge. Tell me in the comments if you liked this story, and if it gets enough, I'll make an entire video on r/petty revenge. This next one is called "I gave my sister $5,000 to buy a car. She wanted my car, and to keep the money." This one's a bit of an epic tale, so buckle up. Pun intended. Last year, I decided it was time to update my car to accommodate my large family. We do not live near public transport or walking distance to anywhere, so we need 3 cars. It seems a bit excessive, but unfortunately, that's how things need to be. My sister was and is still going through a rough time. It's a position she put herself in, but I did my best when I could to help her. She has a child in child protection. She needs to attend a lot of meetings, visits, court dates, and other stuff to prove she is a fit parent. Since I found a great deal on a car, I had change left over and now a spare car. I gave my sister the extra car we no longer had a need for, and $5,000 left over from my budget after all expenses so she could buy herself a car. What an idiot move to do. I explained to great lengths that the car, which is about 20 years old, is on its last legs. Despite regular servicing and routine maintenance, it was just not going as well as it used to. It still drove from A to B, it did the job, but I was constantly paying to get some old part replaced or repaired. It was explained very clearly that the car is not going to last her more than a few months. It is not a permanent solution. My sister had a history of buying cheap cars because it won't take much to get on the road, but then can't afford to get them on the road. With the car I gave her and the money she now had, she would be able to take the time to find a suitable car and not be under any pressure to take the first one that comes along. The following day, after collecting her free car and cash, she sent me a text message asking if she could have one of my other cars instead because it would just save her a lot of time and she would know that that car had been looked after and no hidden problems. After discussing with my husband, it was agreed we could give a car to keep and we can take back the $5,000 as a deposit onto another new car. My husband had wanted a car that can go off-road. We were going to do it in the new year anyway, so we could just bring it forward. I let my sister know that we can organize the other car to be transferred into her name. We would pay for everything needed and she can give the $5,000 back either in cash or bank transfer, whichever was easier. That idea went down like a lead balloon. What? No, you gave me the money! Yes, to buy a car. If you want this car, you need to pay for it. Giving you this car means we need to replace it. But you've got 3 cars and a job and money. This will make getting my child back easier. Little bit of a guilt trip thrown in there. I understand you need a car. You know we need 3 cars. But if I give you this car, we need to be able to replace it. Fine, I'll give you $3,500. No way, the car is worth $10,000 easily. You're getting it for free. No, you want me to give you $5,000. That isn't free. That's money I gave you to buy a car. I'm giving you a car. You do not need the money for a car anymore. Yes, you gave me the money. It's mine, so I don't have to give it back. Let me have the better car. I need a reliable car. We went around in circles for ages. In the end, I said she can get lost. Keep the car you have and the money, but you are not having anything else from me. I stopped contact with her immediately after this. Over the course of a few weeks, fines and infringements started rolling in. Running red lights, speeding, illegal parking, all in my name because the car was still in my name. I reached out to her to ask what the heck is going on and to tell her to pull her head in. No response. After a few more fines came through, all of which I've been able to put in her name, thank goodness, and she continued to ignore me, I decided to fill in paperwork to put the car into her name. Where we live, once the car is transferred into your name, you need to provide a roadworthy certificate within 30 days or the car will no longer be allowed on the road. As this car was so old and was on its way out, it would never pass. Well, that finally got her attention. She was so pissed off that I did that because now she will have no car. She blew my phone up with abusive messages and bombarded me through Facebook Messenger. I told her she will need to use the $5,000 to buy a car sooner and start being more responsible. This is when I found out that she has spent all the money on everything except a car. So now she has no car and no money. The last text message she sent me before I blocked her blamed me for forcing her to take the car, for not buying a car because she thought that my car would be sufficient enough. If I didn't make her take the car, she would have gone and bought one instead. And the cherry on the top was that it is my fault that she now cannot get all the required appointments with child protection so she can get a child back. According to my sister, I now need to explain to her child that it's all my fault that she can't live with mummy anymore. I'm a selfish sister who never lifts a finger to help. Yikes! Not only does she not take responsibility for getting a car, she's generously offered both a temporary car to use and $5,000 for a new car, which you can buy a decently running used car for that. Nope, that's not good enough. She has to have one of the other cars, refuses to pay for it, and then completely guilt trips her sister for her not being able to make her appointments anymore. Some people say that people act this way because, well, something really bad happened to them, and if they're shown love and kindness that they'll change. But clearly in this situation, this lady is just rotten to the core. It shows you what's truly at the heart of humanity, and that's what's a little bit scary here. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you'd like to see more. Alright, I'll see you in the next one.